taking a recipe that my friend sent me called lemon blueberry cheesecake and converting it to a keto-friendly recipe. So right now I'm going to melt some butter, and you need 3/4 of a cup of butter, so that's a stick and a half. I'm going to put that in the microwave to melt. Okay, while that's melting, I've already blended up. Because I'm making it keto-friendly, it calls for graham cracker crust. Instead of using graham cracker crust, I'm using nuts. I did a mixture of pecans and almonds. So that's what's in there. I just ran it through my food processor. Okay, so now I have my nuts. I'm going to put those in this bowl. Make sure I get all the nuts out of there. You also put in your 3/4 of a cup of butter that you melted. Pour that in. And then the original recipe calls for 1/4 of a cup of sugar. I'm going to use Swerve. It's a replacement sugar. So 1/4 of a cup of that. Alright, now you're just going to use a spoon and stir this up. And then we're going to put it in the bottom of a 9 by 11. You can do glass or metal. And I've already preheated my oven to 350. Okay, I'm just going to put this in the bottom here. So I have dumped all of the topping in there, so I'm just spreading it out. Just make it somewhat even. You want to make sure it completely covers the bottom so you don't have any holes when you go to cut it later. Okay, now we're just going to stick this in the oven at 350 for about 10 minutes just to bake it a little more crisp. I'll set my timer for 10 minutes. While that's baking, we can move on to the next step. So the original recipe calls for a blueberry pie filling, but pie filling is not exactly the healthiest option. So I have frozen blackberries here in my saucepan. I'm going to put about 1/4 of a cup, approximately 1/4 of a cup of Swerve in there. Okay, and I'm going to just cook those on the stove. Just to kind of make your topping. So we'll let that cook and we'll move on to the next step. There's a lot of this you can do while the other is getting settled in. It calls for a container of Cool Whip. So we don't use Cool Whip. I'm going to make my own. This is heavy whipping cream. And I'm going to do probably about 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. We're going to make our own whipped topping. Normally when I would make this for like a tres leches cake, it's not keto friendly. So I would do heavy whipping cream and I would do powdered sugar. Now if you'll look here, I have 2 different kinds of Swerve. This is a granular, so it's like granulated sugar, just normal sugar. This one is Confectioners, so it is like powdered sugar. So this is the one you're going to use in your heavy whipping cream. I did 2 cups of heavy cream, so I'm going to do 1 cup of the confectioner sugar. This is a half, so I'm going to do 2 of these. Okay, so this is the 2nd cup of powdered sugar, confectioner sugar, and again that's Swerve brand. Clean this up real quick. I just heard them cooking, so I want to make sure they don't burn, so I'm just stirring them up a little bit, also to make sure the sugar gets coated on everything. Then we're going to let that keep cooking down. Okay, so here we have your heavy cream and the Swerve confectioner sugar. We're going to turn this, which doesn't have numbers anymore, we're going to turn this about halfway and just let it blend until it starts getting thick, and I'll show you when it gets thick. So at 10 minutes I checked this and it was not ready, so I put it back in for another 5 minutes. So it actually took about 15 minutes, probably because I'm using nuts instead of graham crackers. But you'll just want it to look like this because it has to have the topping on top of it. So I'm going to let this cool. It has to completely cool before you put the rest on. Also, while that was going, my blackberries are here cooking, and I've just kind of been chopping them a little bit because we're going to make it as in a topping. Because it looks a little thin, we may add some cornstarch to it. We don't want it to be runny, but we're going to let that keep cooking. Also, while this was going, this ran, and actually this went about 14 minutes, about 12 probably. So this is kind of what you want to do. This is a spoon. If you can pull through here and it doesn't fall back over, that means it's ready. So just where it stands up, that's how you want it. For the next step, we're going to use the same mixer. We're going to do 2 8-ounce packages of cream cheese. I've had these sitting out the whole time I've been working on other stuff so that they're a little bit soft. So just drop those down in there. Okay, so here's the other 8 ounces of cream cheese. We're just going to push that down into there. All right. To this cream cheese, we are going to add a cup of the Confectioners sugar. Again, that's like powdered sugar, but we're using Swerve, so we're going to do 1 cup. 1 cup. You're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And then you're going to add 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. 3. Okay, now you're just going to blend this up until it's mixed well. Okay, we have it all blended here, as much as possible. Now that we have it blended, we're going to add in the heavy whipping cream that we made. Okay, and you're just going to stir this in with your cream cheese. You're just going to stir this in, fold it in gently. Don't like whip it like crazy or it will make your heavy cream flat. Okay, now we're all mixed in. Okay, this is still a little runny. We don't want it to be runny. So I've mixed up about a tablespoon of cornstarch and a little bit of water. We're just going to add that slowly to this to make it a little bit thicker. And then we're just going to let this cook for probably about another 5 minutes. It has cooked now for about 15. Okay, so I have put this in the refrigerator to kind of cool it down. It needs to be cool before you put your topping. And then you're just going to put your mixture of cream cheese and whipped topping on here. Okay, and then you're just going to spread this out evenly on the top of this. Don't do that! I'm trying to do 5 things at once. Okay, so we added the cornstarch. I put this in the fridge to let it get a little bit thicker and cool off. Then we're just going to put this on top. And then you're just going to spread a thin layer throughout the whole dessert. You can put it in your refrigerator, your freezer. You can let it sit out and get to room temperature. You just don't want to melt your whipped topping. Okay, that's it.